Hi. Okay, I've got something else that I thought of that really helped me a lot when I was taking care of my husband. Um, and I'm talking to you guys like you're caregivers, but this would work for anything, anybody. Um, it's that horrible, horrible question that comes at the end of every day. We dread it. We dread it. If you're in charge of it, you dread it. Okay, so what it is like, what's for dinner? That's how I feel every time somebody would ask me what's for dinner. And I started thinking, that's really weighing on me. It's like, that's making me feel like I'm on guard. Like I just know it's almost an accusation, what's for dinner. Like I'm in charge of the whole world. Like I know always what's for dinner. Yes, that's right. You're in charge of your own life, your own family. And if you're the one doing the dinner, that's going to come up every day. So what I did, like, I'm one of those people that just, okay, that's a challenge. I'm going for it. I'm going to do something drastically different. And so what I did was I made calendars. This is my first part. There's lots of parts of this. Okay, so the first part I did, calendars. I put in every single day, all through the month, what I was going to fix for dinner. And, that could change. I mean, if I ran out of something and decided to change it. Yeah, I was very easy on myself on that. But I tried to stick to it because it was a godsend. I mean, I always knew what I was going to fix for dinner. And when people would ask me, I was just like, wait a minute, I would even tell them, do you know what's for dinner today? Here's what I found I'm going to do. And it was really nice to be on the other side of that, not have somebody say, what's for dinner? I was going like, I already know. So I did so many of these. Here, I've got to show you because, well, you got to brag about something. And here it is. Like I'm bragging about these things. Like this went on for years, like years of this stuff. And so for every month I had meal plans. And that was great, and that worked pretty good for a while. And then I realized that I wanted to kind of branch out and do something a little bit more creative, even though I was like trying to survive with caregiving. My creative bones are always working. And I think that if you found me on Instagram or Facebook, you're creative people too. And so you get to where you want to do something a little bit more creative about what you're trying to do with your life as like subnormal, I guess. When you're a caregiver, you don't really have much of a life. And if you could bring some joy into it by something that you're doing. And I guess that's where I was getting to. What I was getting to with this menu thing is that I felt like it was boring. And I wanted to bring a little bit more interest in it for me and not for anybody else. Nobody else cared. Ron was like, whatever you're bringing for dinner, if it's meat and potatoes, pretty much, I will like it. And so that made it simple in some ways. But I wanted to, like I say, do something more creative for myself. And so what I started doing was I'd go online. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I would go online and I'd look at the food that people were cooking and the pictures of food, and thousands and thousands of pictures will come up. So I'd choose like a couple of really good ones, and then they were in my computer. I was doing it on my computer, and then I'd load them into a program where I could print them out. And I had a good printer. Those days are gone. Like I don't need a printer anymore. But anyway, here's what I did. I made little, menu cards. These are cards. These are the different foods that I like. Flip it over. There'd be more. Is this right side? Yeah, I guess it is. And so this is what I do. And I did lots of those. I did a lot of them. Covering up my face. Like this is like, so just to give you an idea, that was phase 2 of the menu planning, because you need something to kind of give yourself a head start, is I wanted to know in advance, next few days, what I'd be needing at the store, because I'd have a chance to get out to the store maybe once a week, if I could do that. And I'd go with my shopping list and I would run through the store because it was not time to dawdle along. I need to get home. Sometimes I'd have somebody that was a caregiver come, a paid caregiver, come and stay with him for a couple hours, so I did the grocery shopping. Or, sometimes when it was early on, when he was first ill, I could go out and leave him and be safe. I knew he was safe. But as time progressed, that changed. But anyway, that's what I did, and it was just, that was a great breakthrough. And then the next thing that I did, and I think I'm going full circle here, because then I started getting these wonderful meals from different. Now, this is a company. I'm not trying to push any company. Here's another one. This is a different company. Different companies. They would send me these things in the mail. I know they send them to everybody. So I think I had like 3 days that were really set in stone that they would send me. And then the other days I'd fill them in. But it was like, oh, thank you, God, because I didn't have to figure out what's for dinner. I didn't have to gather everything. It was already prepped for me. And that was a big help. And so I did that for, that was more towards the end, more like the last 4 or 5 years, or 3 or 4 years, I'm not sure. But that was really wonderful to have that service. And then what I started doing, and I'm still doing it, is I decided to see what I could do with what I'd learned from these, because they have a lot of great tips. If you're not a master chef or somebody that's cooking all the time, you don't know all these little things. And they have great shortcuts and really fun things that they just have. They're not trying to teach you. It just comes with the meal, and then they're told how to prep it or whatever. And so that was really helpful, and I loved that. And now what I'm doing is I use some of these cards. I save the ones I really like, the dinners. The dinner was great, and I'll make a little note on there on the card, like the date, and then talk about what it was about the dinner. Maybe it was the sauce or something that they did. And then I'll remember that and go, and when I don't know what to fix, because here I'm by myself pretty much. And so I'm still, every once in a while, I go, what am I going to fix for dinner tomorrow? I don't know. So I pull out the cards, I look at the cards, I get inspired. And that's what this is really about. It's about getting inspired and get a little bit excited about the same old mundane thing that we have to do every day, and that's eat. It's a long road, and I don't know where you're on it. I don't know what part you're on, but I just, my heart, my thoughts go out to so many of you, and I have stories of so many of you that I've known over the years that have cared for your loved ones and what you've gone through. And so that's what I'm doing, is honoring you guys, honoring my husband, and honoring the past and the future. So take care of that loved one, because you take care of yourself first. You know that. So you survive for another day. I love you dearly.